Hey Eric, about next week's memorial service. Do you think I should take something? Some kind of present?
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't hurt to make a small gift, just as a token of respect. Some confectionery or sweets or something. My parents love that kind of thing. I think they'd be super pleased.
Okay. Should I wrap them up?
It's fine. You don't have to bother with that. They're family.
Really? You sure?
Yeah, it's fine. I have a feeling they might not even accept anything you try to give them anyway. But it won't hurt to take something just in case. Just pick something you wouldn't mind eating yourself afterwards. Anyway, more importantly, there's something I wanted to tell you. There's something I want you to be careful about at my mom and dad's place.
What is it? Some kind of family rule or etiquette?
No, it's nothing like that. You can just act normal as far as that stuff goes. But please, whatever you do, make sure you don't use the words like pregnancy or children in front of any of them. They're forbidden words.
Huh? Why?
So you know how my brother lives at my mom and dad's place with his wife?
Yeah, I remember you telling me. Your brother's the oldest son, isn't he?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Him and his wife can't have kids. She's infertile. Apparently, they've been trying all kinds of treatment, but nothing showing any signs of working.
I see.
Me and you only got married recently. But him and his wife have been married a pretty long time. What is it? Like 5 years now? Anyway, the point is, not only can they not have kids, but my mom and dad are also losing their heads over it.
Oh, I see. I wonder if they're piling all their expectations on him because he's the oldest son? Your dad's company has no successor either. That must be tough.
Right? Which is why the atmosphere there these days is so thick you could cut it with a knife. He tells me they're crazy sensitive towards any words even remotely related to pregnancy. That's why, for the sake of keeping the peace, saying any word falling into that category is strictly forbidden. There's no telling whether it might upset someone.
I see. What a difficult situation. I understand. I'll watch my mouth.
Thanks a lot, Jasmine. I appreciate you.
That must be really hard for both of them. But his wife especially. I know it might not really be my place to say, but given the situation, them living with your parents sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Huh? His wife?
Yeah, Jenna. She must be feeling the pressure more than anyone.
Yeah, I guess so.
She always had a strong sense of responsibility. She always struck me as the type to be unduly hard on herself because she's so kind and sensitive. I hope she's okay.
Me too. I'm so glad we're able to keep our distance from it all. This whole thing made me realize how grateful I am to be the second son. Then, mixed in with the gratitude and this weird sense of guilt. Like, I should somehow be sharing the burden. But honestly, and this might sound bad, but I'm glad I'm not. I wish him and Jenna all the best, but let's face it, he's a lot older than me. Which is why I think I've always been able to dodge the responsibility my parents pile on him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm the youngest of 3 siblings myself, so I totally get where you're coming from. I think I've had it easy too, in that sense.
Right? Being the oldest kid seems like such a drag.
Anyway, message taken on board. I'll choose my words carefully next week. I'll make sure I don't say anything to shock or upset anyone.
Great. I'm counting on you, babe.
Eric, is now a good time? I have some news for you.
You do? What is it?
Well, you know how this morning I told you how I was feeling a little bloated?
This morning? Yeah, I remember that. And actually, your belly did seem to be protruding a little more than usual.
Forgive me if this is too much info. I'm embarrassed to discuss this with you. But I've been a little constipated lately, but I just chalked it down to there being a traffic jam down there. So I decided to go to the doctor's. I looked it up online, and apparently there are people who go to the doctors with constipation. So I booked an appointment and off I went.
You saw a doctor? How did it go? Is everything okay?
Well, yes, it wasn't that after all. But he told me I needed to see a gynecologist.
A gynecologist?
A gynecologist. They deal with, lady stuff. Anyway, I went to see him and I had an examination. I'm pregnant.
Yo, what? Yo, what? Seriously? You're pregnant?
The gynecologist was blown away that the other doctor didn't notice. Apparently, it's so big that they were already able to see the gender. It's a boy.
What? But you haven't been showing any signs until now, have you? I didn't notice any difference. How about morning sickness? Have you been feeling under the weather at all?
I haven't felt anything that seemed like morning sickness, but thinking on it now, I've been usually tired lately, especially over the last couple of weeks. In general, there hasn't been anything that screams out, "You're pregnant, Jasmine." So yeah, astonished isn't the word. Even my appetite's been totally normal. And you often hear how weird cravings are one of the telltale signs.
I can't believe we only just found out now your belly's growing. How did this happen? Is this a thing?
I even chalked that down to the constipation. Can you imagine if I hadn't been constipated? I would have carried on with my life completely oblivious.
Wait, don't your periods stop if you get pregnant? Didn't you think that was weird?
I've always had irregular periods. It's not unusual for me to go 2 or 3 months without a period. So even that wasn't a giveaway. I didn't have the faintest idea. I would have called you crazy if you'd have told me this was gonna happen a week ago. I'm so pleased I went to the doctor and found out.
Right. But wow, you're pregnant. I can't believe it. Doesn't feel real.
Aren't you pleased?
No, I am. I am pleased. I am genuinely happy. It's just... I feel bad with you getting pregnant when my brother and his wife have been struggling so desperately for a baby all this time.
I mean, it's not like we meant for this to happen. But on the other hand, I can't deny it might be a little awkward when they find out.
What do we do? I have no idea what to say to them.
What do you mean what to say? Surely we just tell them the truth. I can hardly stop our little boy growing, can I?
Right.
I'm glad I'm pregnant.
I'm glad too, I swear I am.
It's awful that Jenna's struggling. I feel genuinely sorry for her, and I hope they're able to conceive in the end. I really do. But if we were to wait for them to get pregnant before we thought about having kids of our own, we could run out of time. The clock's always ticking, Eric. I'm not getting any younger, you know. If you think your mom and dad are sad about your brother, can you imagine how broken up they'd be if you didn't give them any grandchildren either?
Okay, you make a strong case. Right. We can't wait around forever. Who knows if the day would even come if we did?
Exactly. So let's be happy for ourselves. Don't you deserve to be happy too? I'm over the moon about this. I honestly could not be happier.
Me too, babe. Leave it with me. I'm gonna deliver the news to my family. I'm sure they'll be pleased for us.
Okay, honey, I'm counting on you.
Hello, Jasmine. Sorry I'm late, but congratulations on the pregnancy.
Hey, Jenna, thank you so much.
I heard you didn't even notice you were pregnant. How's the baby? Is he growing healthily?
That's right, we didn't have the faintest idea. I was so shocked, I think my jaw hit the floor. But thankfully, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong. We got the all clear on the health checks.
I see. I'm very pleased to hear that.
Me too, I was worried when I found out, so it was a huge weight off my shoulders when they told me he was doing well.
Inconspicuous or not, being heavily pregnant can never be easy. Good luck.
Thanks, Jenna, I'm gonna give it my best for me and my little one.
Jasmine, is Eric with you right now?
My husband? He has work today, so he's not here right now. Why? Did you want me to pass a message on?
Ah, he's not with you? That's good. When you say he has work today, you mean he still hasn't come home, right?
Yes. He said he should be back just after 7 p.m. Why do you ask? Did something happen?
Well, in a sense. Look, there's something I have to tell you. This might not be very pleasant for you to hear, but I have a duty. You might want to sit down.
Jenna, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if by any chance... Are you mad with us? If it's about the baby... Look, I felt guilty when I found out too.
Huh? You felt guilty? Why?
Well, because I know how hard you and your husband have been trying for a baby. Then there's the IVF treatment, then there's his parents and all the pressure they put on you. I felt guilty when I found out I'd gotten pregnant by accident while you guys were struggling so much.
You were worried about that? Don't be silly. I'm not angry at all. You're free agents. There's no reason you and your husband should have to wait for me to get pregnant to have kids of your own.
Huh? But I was certain. Eric told me all sorts of the... Wait, what the hell is going on? None of this makes sense.
What kind of domineering witch queen do you take me for? I'd never condemn anyone for wanting children. Anyway, back to what I was saying. When's the baby due? You need to divorce your husband as soon as possible. If you can, I suggest you get your things together and go and live with your parents. Or stay with a friend. Anywhere that's not with him. Now, if you can.
Excuse me? Divorce? What? Where did that come from all of a sudden?
Your husband and your family are all your enemies. That includes my husband, too.
My enemies? Jenna, please, what are you talking about? None of this makes sense at all.
This isn't going to be nice for you to hear. But they've all been plotting a horrible, malicious plan together behind your back.
A plan? I seriously don't have a clue what you're talking about. Why would any of them be my enemies?
Your husband, his parents, and his brother are planning on stealing your baby and giving it to me for adoption as soon as it's born.
What? You can't be serious. I don't know anything about that.
And that's by design. Because you're not supposed to have a say. They don't care about what you want. The plan is to take the baby against your will. They've been plotting in the shadows to make sure you have as little ability to resist them as possible when they make their move.
Why would they do such a thing?
Because I can't have children of my own.
Even so, that doesn't necessarily mean they'd steal my baby.
It's a baby boy, isn't it? Do you know how worried his parents have been about not having a successor to inherit Eric's dad's company? They're so old-fashioned. They're dead set on it being the eldest son's boy. I'm telling you, they seem serious about this. I'm so sorry that this is happening on my behalf.
No, this can't be. My husband would never ever go along with something like this. Handing over his newborn son to his big brother? He wouldn't.
I think you'd be surprised. He agreed pretty much straight away. To quote him, "She's still young and healthy. She has years of good childbearing years in her life. If she wants more kids, she can have them or whatever she wants. On my life," he said that.
No.
Every single member of the family you married into sees women as nothing more than childbearing factories. You have no idea how much they berate and demean me. "You're useless. Do your damn job. Why did we let you marry him?" Every single day. It never ends.
Oh my god, that's horrible. Are they really like that? Women are people, we're not tools.
Preach it, sister. But these aren't the kind of people who you can appeal to with reason or common sense. Believe me, I've tried and tried and tried. I think you should have a birth as far away from them as possible, surrounded by your own family. People you can trust. You can't trust his family. And to tell you the truth, you can't trust Eric either. I know this is hard to accept, but please, don't let them fool you with their kind words.
I can't believe he agreed to all that so easily. Did he really not even question it?
I'm sorry, Jasmine, but he didn't. I've always thought he's the kind of person to be easily swayed by those around him. And it seems doubly true with his family. He always seems disturbingly willing to do whatever his parents or brother tell him. I hate to insult your husband, but I wonder if he's ever had an independent thought in his life. I've been there the whole time they've been planning this. And I can tell you he isn't thinking about how you might feel about this. Not even one bit.
I never knew he could be so heartless. Don't get me wrong, I thought he could be a bit insensitive sometimes. But I always just put it down to him being thick-headed and stubborn. To think he'd give away his own son?
Apparently, they offered him some money in return. As soon as he heard about that, it was a full steam ahead. You could practically see the dollar signs in his eyes. Just what does he think human beings are?
You're not on board with this, are you, Jenna?
Obviously not. I was blown away when I found out. I asked myself, could my family really be this evil? The thought of them stealing your baby, I felt like I'd be living a lie this whole time. No matter which way you spin it, what they're doing is despicable. And I won't let them get away with it. That's why I had to tell you no matter what.
Thank you so much. They won't get my boy. I won't let them. I won't. I have to do something. Right, it's time for action. For the time being, I'm gonna take refuge at my parents' place. Then when I'm safe there, I'll try speaking to Eric.
Good idea. You need to get out of there as quickly as you can. If anything changes over here, or if anything seems off, I'll let you know straight away.
Jasmine! Where did you go? Are you out? You didn't go out, surely. Since when did you go out at this time? You went out, didn't you? Answer me! What's going on?
I won't be coming home again.
Huh? What? Why not? What's going on? Where did you go?
I'm just about to get on the plane.
The plane? What plane? Huh? Where the heck are you going on a plane? Huh? I don't even...
I'm going back to my parents' house. We're getting a divorce.
Why? Where did this come from? What did I do?
I know everything. I know all about your plan. You were going to steal my son and hand him over to your brother for adoption, weren't you?
Oh man! How did you...
Jenna told me.
Jenna?
Yes. Thankfully, there is at least one person in your family thinking about my feelings. She warned me and told me I needed to escape.
Hey! Let's just slow down here. This isn't any reason for divorce, is it? Don't be so drastic! Divorce is going too far!
Too far? You were about to sell our baby and I'm going too far? You're unbelievable!
If it's kids you want, you can have more whenever you want! You're young, fit, and most importantly, not infertile! You said it yourself, you felt bad for Jenna and my brother. What's the problem with giving them one baby?
Are you serious? You're insane! Admittedly, there's probably something wrong with me too for even marrying you in the first place. But good God, have you heard yourself? You're a failure of a husband. You should have been there to protect your wife when she needed you.
It wasn't like that. Wait, what? She? Who's this?
Whoops, looks like I gave myself away. It's me, Jenna. You, your brother, your parents, your entire family are total scumbags, and I'm done with you all. You know what? I actually think you're the worst of the lot. Jasmine is your wife! You saw her as nothing but a baby-making factory.
No, it wasn't like that! You're making a huge misunderstanding! Jasmine's not a baby-making factory, she's my wife!
Are you just a moron, then? If it's kids you want, you could have more whenever you want? Who says that? I initially thought it was malice, but maybe you are just a complete idiot? I've been a gynecology nurse for over a decade. And let me tell you, childbirth is one of the most stressful things a woman can go through. Do you have any idea how many complications, how much trauma, how much death I've seen?
Surely those are rare exceptions! Stuff like that doesn't happen anymore due to advances in medical technology! What is this, the Stone Age?
Technology may have progressed, but the human body hasn't changed. Whether it's today or 50,000 years ago, the toll pregnancy takes on a woman's body is the same. You have the nerve to tell a woman who'd just been through all that to bring a child into this world that she can just have more whenever she wants. You're sick. Your wife and son are not toys for you to do as you please with.
I never said they were. I never meant for this to.
Just because a woman's able to have one child doesn't necessarily mean she'll be able to have a second. Do you have any idea how ignorant you've been? The human body is complicated, and there are 1,000,001 different things that can go wrong. What was your plan if it turned out she couldn't have a second? Could you have lived with yourself? Children are not possessions to be swapped and traded. They're precious miracles of nature. A child is more important to its mother than her life itself. Her packing up her things and leaving you was obviously the only way this was ever going to end. Don't you see that?
I just wanted to help my brother. All that stuff you just said. I didn't think about any of that.
You fool. You have no right to be a father. You don't even have the right to be a husband.
Divorce is too far! No! Please, talk her around! Make her see sense! Which airport is she at?
Make her see sense? She has! That's why she left you! I'm not telling you anything. Even if I did, you wouldn't make it now, even if you broke the speed limit. If you're stupid enough to contest the divorce in court, I'll be there to back her up every single step of the way. I have enough evidence to keep you and your despicable family's mouth shut for as long as you all live.
Evidence?
I'm sure you remember all of those meetings you and your lovely family held to discuss the baby's theft in secret. Well, I've recorded every single one of them. Do you really think you'll have a leg to stand on when I have recordings of comments like, "I'll just make her have another one"? We'll eliminate every last one of her avenues of resistance. I have all of it, and I'll use all of it if I have to.
What the hell? When did you do that? I thought you were with us!
Then, you're an even bigger idiot than I thought possible. This won't just be proof enough to see the divorce through. I could put you in jail. But if you are stupid enough to try and fight for custody of your son, Jasmine wins every time. This is a violation of human rights.
No, I can't lose her! She means the world to me! Anything but that! She can't divorce me!
Do you really think that much of me?
Jasmine?
Why would you have any part in such an evil, malicious plan if I really meant the world to you? I'll never be able to trust you again after this. I don't even think I'd feel comfortable in the same room as you anymore. Divorce is the only option.
Jasmine, wait! Don't do it! Please, anything but divorce! I'm so sorry. I've been a fool! I rushed headfirst into a stupid, dangerous plan without so much as a thought for your feelings! I deserve everything you say to me! It was wrong of me to suggest you could just have more kids as if it was no big deal. I didn't know having kids could be dangerous in this day and age.
Any feelings I had for you disappeared the moment I found out you were plotting to sell my son. I'm raising him on my own.
Fine, where are you? I'll come to you. Let me apologize in person.
If you dare come anywhere near me, I can't be held responsible for anything my family do to you. I'm serious. My dad and grandpa want to beat the crap out of you. They're furious and they're out for blood. My grandpa's calling in favors for some of his old connections, and he already found a top-class lawyer. My entire family are joining forces to bring you down.
I don't want to fight you!
Then give in and accept the divorce. Give up on custody of our son too.
Can't we just get everyone together and talk this through? Please, come back! We can discuss this like peaceful, reasonable adults!
You think I'm just gonna waltz right into the enemy camp like some unsuspecting deer into the lion's den? I'm not just getting as far away from you as possible for my sake. I have my son to think about now.
We're not the enemy camp! We're your family! It's not just me who wants you to come back, but my parents and brother too! We all miss you!
It's not safe for me there and I'm not coming back. Unlike you, our son's safety is my #1 priority. As far as I'm concerned, you, your parents, your brother, all of you are my enemies. I'm not some tool to be used and manipulated for you and your crazy family's twisted scams. After that, I had the divorce papers sent to my husband and officially announced that I'd be fighting for custody of my soon-to-be-born son. Predictably, the in-laws weren't willing to give up custody without a fight, and they made it clear they'd be contesting it in court. However, everything went as expected, between the top-class lawyer my grandpa found and Jenna submitting the mountain of evidence she'd been gathering behind the scenes as the plot progressed. The legitimacy of my case, that my in-laws had plotted to take illegal possession of my newborn baby, with total disregard of my own will, was immediately acknowledged, and I won custody of my son in what must have been one of the quickest victories in legal history. Apparently, Eric was so distraught from the shock of losing me that he became completely withdrawn and turned into a disheveled recluse and shadow of his former self. Not only that, but he also blamed his parents for everything that happened. He developed a burning hatred for them, and arguments so explosive they bordered on physical confrontations became a daily occurrence. Not only after our own divorce proceedings were finalized, Jenna divorced his brother. As fellow sufferers, me and her became close friends. She found a kind, loving man who accepts her for who she is and understands her condition, who she's now living together happily with. As for me, I'm living happily with my grandpa, parents, and newborn son.